Hey everybody, I hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome back to Let's Play Siralim Ultimate. In this episode, we're going to be doing some more realm delving. We'll start off with a false god fight against Saint Althea. But I thought, you know what, I haven't done this in a while. Let's turn this into a kind of tutorial slash guide for taking down Saint Althea. So I usually don't do episodes like that because for the most part I just want to play the game normally. Occasionally I'll share little tips and tricks. But because we're starting off with the fight against Saint Althea, and it's going to be like right at the front of the episode, I figure we might as well start with the, on a bit more of an informative note of good ways to take down Saint Althea. So that's what I'll do. The first step when taking down any boss is, of course, the preparation. I have an all-purpose build that allows me to fight almost any enemy in the game without modification. Saint Althea is one of the very few exceptions to it. And the reason is she has a blight-based gimmick. Blight, of course, is annoying because well, ostensibly, you get hurt for healing. You can counter that, but then it stops you from healing back. So if you're raising your maximum health and if you're not allowed to heal, it becomes dangerous because then even if you're not getting killed directly, then percentage damage can become very deadly very quickly. So the first step is, okay, how do we counter Blight? There are a couple different ways to do it, and anointments or your class specialization is going to be the way that you would want to go about it. Now, here's the anointment that I've picked, the Shadowbringer anointment called Arrogance is Confidence. If we read what it says, our creatures with Blighted ignore the effects of this debuff and also deal more damage. We can ignore the part about dealing more damage. I mean, it's nice, but since we have Miraxus in our party, we scale infinitely. So these damage boosts aren't that important to us, in boss fights especially, because we can literally scale into the trillions and beyond if that's what we wanted. Usually by the time you hit 1 billion, you've got more than enough stats to take anyone out. So an extra 50% damage isn't really that relevant for our build, although I guess for other builds the 50% damage might come into play, so let's not completely ignore the 50% damage, but let's focus on the fact, on the rest of it. It says, our creatures with Blight ignore the effect of this debuff. Sounds great. Sounds like a wonderful thing that you'd like to use if you are having trouble with Blight. Now let's go to the Cleric Anointment collection, and let's take a look at this anointment. It's called Consecrated Ground. Your creatures are immune to Blighted. So let's compare that to the Shadowbringer Anointment. Your creatures with Blighted ignore the effects of this debuff. Now what can we say about these two? If you haven't played the game much, and especially if you haven't fought Saint Althea, and especially if you haven't seen my previous encounters with Saint Althea and the issues I've had with anointments, you might look at these and be like, hey, isn't this the same thing? Isn't it the same thing to say you're immune to Blighted as, isn't that the same as saying you ignore the effects of Blighted? Like, how could that be different? How could that possibly be the different? Obviously, they're the same thing, right? Well, I mean, I understand why you would think that. That's the kind of thing you'd think, that you would think if you kind of had a normal, healthy mindset, a normal, healthy mindset that hasn't been tainted by just severe cynicism. That's the mindset you'd have. You'd be like, okay, clearly the spirit of these two anointments is the same. Is that it makes you, it shields you from blight. But just notice that they are worded differently. You're like, of course they should do the same thing, but just keep in mind the exact wording of these two anointments, because it will become relevant later. So consecrated ground says you're immune to blighted. Whereas Shadowbringer says your creatures with blighted ignore the effects of this debuff. And of course, with the 50% more damage, that part, as I mentioned, isn't relevant to us. We scale infinitely. The usual limitations that apply to mere mortals when they start hitting their diminishing returns, those don't apply to us. So, you know, like I said, let's not really think about the damage part. Let's focus on the blight part, right? So, it seems like they're doing the same thing, but they're worded differently, right? Let's just keep that in mind as we go into the Arachnid Nest to take down Saint Althea. So that is the first stage of it. Is you should, when you're fighting Saint Althea, pick this specific anointment. Not this one. There's a reason I picked that one. It's not like I didn't flip a coin and be like, oh, which one should I take? I purposefully picked this one. Okay, that's step one. Step two, and really like the entire rest of this whole scheme is going to be revealed when we actually get into combat with Saint Althea, which is potentially going to take a while because we're going to have to fight her. We're going to have to fight the creatures in the realm in order to summon her, and then we'll get into combat with her. Right. For now, though, just remember those two anointments that I showed you. The one that we went with, which is called Arrogance is Confidence, from the Shadowbringer anointment collection, and the one that we didn't take. Remember that one as well, the Consecrated Ground from the Cleric collection. Right? Just hold these two pieces of information in your mind, and it will all make sense, or maybe it won't, but one way or another you will understand why I have done things the way that I have. Okay, so we get the bad outcome from from this cocoon. That's okay, that's fine. Alright. Like I said, the next stage of this guide is gonna come into play once we actually summon Saint Althea, which is, we're gonna have to kill a few enemies in order to make that happen. Okay, so we get some loot out of that guy, that's good. And we get the bad outcome out of this. That's bad. And I love that we randomly killed the champion enemy in that. This is, you know what? I'll take this. It's gonna make the fight long and annoying, but it's got to be done. No, hang on. Let me. Where do we see the? Okay, I think I know. You go to character. You go to bounties. And there it shows you the runes. So we made it immune to attack damage. We've got to remember that. We aren't going to be able to directly attack Saint Althea. Alright. Now, the rest of this realm, really there's not much to do except to just go around and kill things until the portal for the false god shows up. Which, again, we're not far away from that. But let's fight some elves. Let's fight some elves. Right, let's go ahead and get some Clayman action on you. Get some more Clayman action, and can we just punch you to death? It's possible depending on how this goes. Oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna win easily. Alright. Alright. Oh, we haven't really gotten lucky with the runes, because we could have gotten a much better loot modifier on this false god. But, I mean, you know, that's just luck for you. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't quite. Alright, let's do this. Go down, grab that. Oop. Easy. Oh, I think the portal has appeared, which is good because it will stay active even though we've just interacted with these things, which has summoned extra nemesis creatures onto the map. We could even summon enemies from the candle if we wanted to, but there's really no need. Although it's not a bad realm for summoning. You know what? Let's just kill these enemies. Did they all get summoned into this one room? That's hilarious. All right, let's get this done. And let's then get ready to take down Althea. Alright, now as we go and remember what we had talked about earlier on in the episode about the anointments, right? In fact, I can even show you the anointments in this list. Remember that this is the one that we went with. Arrogance is confidence. Creatures with Blighted ignore the effects of this debuff. And consider also that we could have picked this one. Your creatures are immune to Blighted. Right? Just bear that in mind. Now we get into combat with Saint Althea. So you're finally here. The Nether Orb is... yeah, okay. She has some dialogue. And I guess she's actually not a bad person, right? She's just been possessed by a malevolent entity, and she's actually asking for our help to, I guess, it makes it seem like we're killing her by doing this, which is sad, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta make hard choices. Anyway. Now we are in combat with Saint Althea. We can see a couple things. We can see that we are blighted, and not only are we blighted, but we're permanently blighted. That little star symbol next to the blight means that this debuff is never gonna go away in this combat. Even if we tried to do something like Greater Dispel or something like that, it wouldn't work. Right now we're in combat with Saint Althea. Let's take a look at what she actually does. And the thing is, normally with nether bosses, they have one trait which gets stronger and stronger, but by the time you fight them the third time, their trait is the strongest version, but it's still just one trait, right? You just have to click on that one creature and you read their one trait, and that's the thing that they do. With the false god, each individual body part has its own trait that contributes something to the overall boss fight. So the shoulders both cast spells. So this one casts, I guess, regular spells or like generalized spell casting. This one specifically casts healing spells on enemies. Why is that important? Because normally when you're blighted, healing spells do damage to you, and in fact you have no way of healing essentially if you're blighted. Normally. Let's look at what the head does. The head grants all body parts shelled. A very standard defensive bonus. The right hand, again, you cast spells. The left hand casts healing spells. So I guess the left side of her body, which seems to be the uncorrupted part, at least going by it visually, seems to be casting healing spells. The right side, you can see some weird, like tendril or something coming out of her arm. So this side of her body is casting different spells, but we haven't looked at the torso yet. So let's look at that now, or the body of Saint Althea. Enemies always have blighted, so that explains why we have that permanent debuff. Now look at the next line. Enemies cannot be immune to blighted. And it gives health to the other body parts, whatever, that's fine. The key thing, of course, is that middle sentence. That's the bombshell. It's enemies cannot be immune to blighted. So if you came in here with some sort of clever system that, oh, I've got a racial ability that says, if I have this race, we can't be blighted, or some other, crackpot scheme that you thought was going to get you out of this, Saint Althea just completely vetoes that. Like, just the game declares that your build no longer works against her if you came here thinking that your regular blight immunity was going to save you. But that's just not going to happen. The first time I fought Saint Althea, or actually no, the first time I fought Saint Althea, I just took it on the chin. I was like, whatever, I'll take the blight damage, but I'll kill her before she kills me. And that's how I fought her a few times, actually. Eventually, from fighting her, I got the Consecrated Ground anointment, the one that makes you immune to blight. And because I didn't read, because like you gotta read 6 different things to get a sense of what this false god does, and because I hadn't read carefully what the torso was doing, I assumed Consecrated Ground was gonna save me against this boss. And when it didn't save me, I was really, really salty. I was convinced that the game was bugged until I was done, and then when I went and looked, I was like, oh, that's what's going on. I was still salty because I have strong opinions on stuff like this. I don't think games should generally do things like this where the gimmick of the boss is that an ordinary part of your build simply stops working and you gotta change your build. But in the game's defense, it has many, many, many bosses, and most of them don't do stuff like this. So I'll give the game a pass, right? It doesn't often happen, right? So anyway, once my frustration died down, I then, at a different time, was looking through my anointments, or at some point I gained this anointment. I don't exactly remember what the order of events is, but eventually my eye fell upon that Shadowbringer anointment, Arrogance is Confidence, which, as we saw earlier, on the surface, seems to do the same thing as Consecrated Ground. And at this point, I'm gonna start just preparing to win this battle, and then we can talk some more after that. So having already been burned once due to the whole consecrated ground just arbitrarily not working thing, following that, I was like, you know what? Like, is arrogance, is confidence, is that one gonna work, or is the game once again gonna be like, oh no, you can't be immune to blight? As it turns out, as you can very clearly see, we are in fact not just gaining maximum health, but also we are healing. So, what is the moral of all this? What is the we made her immune to attack damage. I forgot. Never mind. But she should be... Oh, we also gave her the we can't damage her more than 10% thing. Okay, that explains it. Well, in that case, let's do wormhole, I guess. Where's my wormhole? And I'm gonna wormhole, you know, the Dread White. Just so I can do a double feign death. But, oh, by the way, I don't think Saint Althea has any way of damaging you other than blight. So if you've gotten the Arrogance's Confidence anointment, I think there's like literally nothing she can do. Unless she's just got some other random spell, which is possible. But I've never really seen her do anything useful once you've gotten rid of her blight. So we are about to win. It's just that annoyingly we've got to hit her like 10 times. Okay. Now I think we're about to... Yeah, okay. There we go. We're about to go... we're about to be done with this battle. What? What did we get here? Nothing. Here, nothing. And let's collect another anointment, and then we'll do some debrief comments on this fight. But what do we want to take as an anointment? That could be good. That could be interesting. This could be fun. I mean, that... A lot of these sound pretty good. But let's take the God Spawn chance to cast Ultimate. I feel like that could result in some very interesting stuff. We don't get any rare loot out of that. But that's okay. And let's leave. We do get a piece of garbage netherstone out of you. Now before we leave this realm, let's do our final debrief. We started out talking about how on the surface this anointment looks like it's doing the same thing as this anointment. Now why is it different? Now remember when I told you to pay attention to the difference in wording. So Saint Althea says your creatures cannot be immune to blighted. And this says your creatures are immune to blighted, so obviously this one is in direct contradiction with that. And obviously this is the one that gets overruled based on how the game is assigning priority here, right? But then we've got to think about why isn't this one being overruled? This is where the difference... Remember when I said earlier that you know, if you're a normal, you know, healthy, well-adjusted person, you won't really think much about the difference between this and this. Only the most pedantic, like like the most painfully pedantic, literal-minded person would be telling you, ignoring the damage part, just focus on the blight part. Only the most pedantic person would tell you that this is technically different than this. But it is true. It is technically different. It's technically different in the sense that this isn't saying that you're immune to blighted. This says you can have blighted. It's just saying that blight does nothing to you. Therein lies the technical difference. Because you saw that we were blighted in that battle. We had blight. You saw this icon, with the star next to it. We had blight. It's just that blight wasn't doing anything to us. We were acting as though we simply did not have blight. And to the game, this having blight, but blight not doing anything to you, this is different enough from this that one of them is allowed and the other one isn't. And when I do stuff like this in the game, and this is the most extreme version, but there are other instances, and sometimes it goes against me as well, where like something awful happens and I'm like, that's fucked. But then I read and I'm like, okay, yeah, the game technically has a rule. It's technically being consistent. But there are times when you kind of feel like that the game is acting like a scumbag lawyer against you, and in order to counter that, you have to act like even more of a scumbag lawyer and just focusing on little bits of phrasing and being like, this is why I'm right and this is why you're wrong. And you know what this really reminds me of? It reminds me of that lawyer from The Simpsons. Lionel Hutz, I think is his name, and just like the classic scumbag tactics of like clearly not adhering to the spirit of what's going on, but in some way claiming to be technically right. And that's what we're doing. In fact, I'll see if I can find a way to maybe put a Lionel Hutz joke in the in the thumbnail or the episode title or something like that. That'll be a job for me in the future. But yeah, for now, we took a very long time, much longer than I normally take, to clear one realm to fight one boss. But just because I wanted to give a bit of a sense of how it is that you fight this one boss. And with this, the tutorial segment of this episode is over. So if all you wanted out of this video was some explanation on Saint Althea, how she works, and why some things will work against her and other things won't, if that's all you wanted, you can safely leave this video. But I am going to continue this episode because this is also part of my Let's Play, and I do want to keep going. Usually I keep going for about an hour. So hey, if you did come just for Saint Althea, who knows, maybe you'll want to stick around for the rest of the episode and check out a bit of the Let's Play, but that is entirely up to you. Right, what I'm going to do is I'll do that. Oh, hang on, I need to start a new experiment, I think. Yeah. And now I will set a new bounty. Again, we're sticking with the Nature Guild, just because I love the reduction on indirect damage. It's just so beautiful. And we'll do Saint Althea one more time. That'll be our 10th victory against her. And when we eventually fight her again, that'll be our 10th victory against her, and that'll be the final achievement for taking her down. It'll be good when that happens. Alright. For now, though, we've got to go to another random realm. Resurrect on death. That's going to be annoying, but you know what? for 393, I think I will accept that. I will accept that. Ooh, hey, Nether realm. With the... okay. I was worried about this. So some of these objects are going to give us treasure. Some of them are going to give us combat with sort of skeleton-themed enemies. Hopefully we don't get too much combat. Hopefully we get more treasure, because it's a decent amount of treasure. But oh no, some of the bones are alive. Okay, whatever. And these bones are alive. But now I guess they're dead again? Question mark. I mean, if you're undead, and then you are then neutralized, shall we say, do you... like, you'd still say killed, right? Because that's just a catch-all term for something... Actually, no, I guess you'd use the same term that you use, I guess, maybe like if you're destroying robots. You wouldn't say, I killed that robot, you'd say, I destroyed that robot. So I guess that's what you'd say against the undead. You'd say, I destroyed those undead creatures that were harassing me when all I wanted to do was loot a bunch of corpses. How dare they? Alright. Left, right, nothing. That's fine. Alright, alright, alright. Let's let's get our bearings in this realm. Looks like we've got the southern part of the map dealt with. And hopefully there aren't too many enemies, because I just... look at how long it takes when enemies are resurrecting, right? It takes a while. And we, right now, don't have a good way of dealing with resurrecting enemies. There's one crucial anointment that we're missing. A pyromancer anointment. So we have... actually, there are two different pyromancer anointments working in conjunction. Bat trap sounds like nature? But yeah, there's one pyromancer anointment called Burn Their Corpses, which says if an enemy dies while it has the burning debuff, then it can't be resurrected. But I don't know if this applies in boss fights. I don't think it does. Maybe it does, or maybe it doesn't. But in terms of the usefulness of this anointment, so like boss fights are one-offs that you don't have that often anyway, so like saving time on boss fights, like if you saved 20 seconds in a boss fight, that happens once every 5 rounds in the case of nether bosses, you know, because you stop it from resurrecting. Overall, you're not saving that much time, but if you're saving a good amount of time every time regular trash mobs resurrect, that is saving you a lot of time, just because of how often you encounter enemies that are resurrecting. Either because the realm property is allowing them to, or because they've got some trait that's allowing them to. Or because they had some really annoying spell that resurrected their people. But yeah, there's one pyromancer anointment called Burn Their Corpses, which as I said, is the thing that shuts down the resurrections. But then there's another Pyromancer anointment, which makes sure that enemies always have burning. That they always have this debuff active. And those two working hand in hand is what I plan to base my next build around. There are other ways to give burning to enemies. I think the best way is to just have them have it at the start of combat, right? That's got to be the best way, because if you're spending your turns putting burning on them, you're wasting an action doing that, and it's not a good way. I mean, it's not the best way of doing it. That's just what I'll say. Alright, so there's one more enemy. What? Where's... Oh, have we already beaten the Master? I guess we've already beaten the Master. Have we, though? Master of Nihilists. Okay, I guess we have. Alright. We still need to find more batteries. Alright. Grab that. Grab this. Ooh, we're about to get a special skin. I'm all for that. Oh, it looks like a collection of bats. Looks like 3 different bats. Let's see what the skin is going to be called. Swarm. Alright, I like that one. It kind of has similar vibes to the horde of tiny golems skin. Excuse me, it's in the evening now, and it's not even that late in the evening, but I think it's about time for me to start maybe taking a break from screens for the night after I'm done with this episode. But yeah, so this is a very cool looking skin just because it's different, right? It's not just like they're bats obviously, but unlike the other bat appearances, it's 3 different bats. And like I said, it reminded me of a horde of tiny golems. This one. Now this is still my favorite skin, just because, first of all, it looks funnier. Second of all, the name is the name also really enhances it for me. But you know, the swarm one is cool too. It's very cute. Those tiny bats are definitely a little bit on the adorable side. Alright, just have a bit of water while I'm waiting for these guys to die. And let's take you out as well. Sorry about that. I guess that Saint Althea fight really, and that whole explanation really exhausted me. But no, it was fun. With that one anointment, you can basically just render her completely irrelevant. There's lots of things in this game where there's like whether it's a boss mechanic or whether it's one of your own builds, there are complicated chains of things that all completely crumble if you just remove one part from them. And in her case, she tried very hard for us to not be able to remove the part that prevents us from sidestepping Blight. She tried very hard, even going so far as to say that you cannot be immune to Blight. Unfortunately for her, is that although she tried to do, she tried to pull a scumbag move, but in the end, she simply could not compete with us because we were just, as far as scumbags go, we were much bigger scumbags than she could possibly dream of being. Alright, how long has this been going? We are at 40 minutes, so we've got plenty of time to do some good stuff in this episode. I reckon we could do a couple more rounds. 360. Alright, that seems like a good bonus. So let's take it and go. Alright. Caustic reactor. Let's make a donation. And let's go to the shop. Alright, let's see. Tox dwellers. There are 6 tox dwellers in your shop. Let's look at our bestiary. And there are 6 tox dwellers in our list. Okay, that's fine. And nobody is resurrect. Well, I mean, there. I really hope this realm isn't like infested with whites, because I don't want enemies resurrecting. Okay, that's annoying. And next enemies, they slow things down by just. Excuse me? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, oh god. We need to do something about this. This is shaping up to be a pretty awful realm, jeez, okay. Why are they so tanky? Alright, let's take a look at this. Less damage taken, alright. And extra health. Oh my goodness. What the fuck, dude? And these next shadow jumpers, I think. If you. Oh, what are you doing? Fuck off. These next shadow jumpers, I believe what they do is, if somebody casts a spell or if something happens, they just attack, and it's really annoying. Oh, I'm not attracting any enemies in this realm because it feels like an awful realm for, like, yeah, it just does not feel like a great realm to be summoning anything. Alright. Mimic did not last long. Ooh, nether realm. Ooh, hey! A card from loot. Gorgon Gazer. Always happy to take a look at this. Oh, hey, hopefully we get a good bonus. You get more creature parts and arcane dust in this realm. Well, I mean, that kind of helps. But that's not really something we needed. Fuck off. Really. Get out of here with your salamander bullshit. We found a card, though. That's always a good thing. Here's the master of the realm. So let's take you down pretty quickly. Of course we're fucking silenced. Okay, it's only at the start of battle. Alright, well. Fuck off, dude. That's a bunch of bullshit. But you know what? Maybe we can just you know what? Let's be intelligent about this. Let's do it like this. And then we can do this. No, I think we've done enough. Yeah. Just die, please. Thank you. And that's the realm done. But we're not. But we aren't done with the realm because there are a few things left in here. Fuck off. Oh, I hate Nick's enemies so much. Alright. I think we're done, and there could be... there could be some stuff to get in here. Alright. Piece of garbage netherstone, that's fine. And we could do some summoning, but I don't know, man. I'm not happy with the fusion that our enemies have gotten in this realm. Because Nixes are going to be annoying to deal with, because just randomly we'll be silenced and they'll be annoying. Although this isn't a bad round for... So you know what? I'll summon one group of flesh abominations, and then we can call it good. Because we are in card week. So, well, see, exactly stuff like this, because I gotta defend with you. I could also modify the macro to be like, oh, what do you do if you're silenced? You just defend. What do you do if you can't defend? You skip your turn, because some realms will stop you from manually defending, which is annoying. Anyway, let's kill these guys, and then we can move on. Finally. Let's do... Fuck off. Let's do this. And... let's leave. Okay. Okay. Now we just go to new realm. And I think this is going to be the final round that we do. 437 is a fantastic loot bonus. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. I think we've already looked at you. Yeah, we already have all the seraphs, so that's gonna be fine. What else is there? It's a decently okay realm. We're fused with paragons, which could be annoying, but you know what? I think we'll be fine. Alright, let's go. Alright. 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 Alright, let's make our way through this realm, and let's see what we can get. Alright. And that's the realm already done. Ooh, Xantai fight. Let's leave the Xantai fight until the end. Sanctus Master. Can we just just punch you to death? No, we need to buff a little bit. Right, I should have probably realized that. Alright, although maybe we could kill them. Depends on these corpse explosions. Alright. Promising. Oh, are you serious? Are they healing every turn? They are healing every turn. That's fucked. But that does mean we potentially have a way to kill Xantai. It depends, though. It depends on what his other abilities are. Alright. Oh, why are there krakens in an art gallery? Some of these monster locations don't really make a lot of sense. But who am I to judge? You know, maybe they bought tickets. Maybe I'm the one being racist. Maybe they were legitimately just, you know, enjoying the ambiance of the astral gallery until I showed up and started killing them. So, you know, let's not be so quick to judge, I guess, is the lesson. Okay. Ooh, nobody's resurrecting. That's a surprise, but I'll take it. Alright, 3 enemies. Three enemies. Have we found the candle? Because if this is gonna be our final realm, which I'm leaning towards, yes, it should be our final realm, then we might as well do a bit of summoning, just to see if maybe we can get an extra card at the end of all of this. So here's what I'll do. Get that, get a bit of favor with Muse. Ooh, a Mimic. Oh no, I should have done arbitration. But we killed him again anyway, that's fine. You hear the sound of fun and happiness in the distance. Don't ruin it, please. You're gonna ruin it, aren't you? So, in case you don't know, that is the game's way of telling you that a treasure golem has been summoned into the realm. And of course, I'm gonna go kill that treasure golem. Not because of anything he did, but simply because of who he is. And that is he's a golem that's carrying a bunch of treasure. Like I hate to say it, but if he didn't want to be killed, maybe he shouldn't have been carrying all that treasure, you know? You know what I'm saying? Alright. Alright. Almost ready for the Xantai fight. But like I said, we've got a few things to take care of. How's our Rune of Prophecies looking? It's actually looking pretty nice. As soon as we're done with the Forge mission, we could hand in the... I mean, we could play some Siralim and then hand it in. Which I think would be a nice idea. And finally we find the candle. So we'll take a look at that in a moment. Okay. Dead. Nothing to the left. Nothing to the right. That's okay. Let's summon some flesh abominations. And then let's take out Xantai. And hopefully we find a card. We'll see. Okay, let's go. Zantai. I don't think you can get Blight as a realm debuff, but we could manually Blight Zantai. I'm tempted to just do that because some of the Zantai fights can get pretty tedious because he starts with, or like for the whole fight, he has 3 different traits belonging to 3 random nether bosses, and some of them interact in really annoying ways. So against him, I am not above just killing him with Blight. Even if it does, you know, completely remove any sense of strategy or planning from the battle just because of how automatic and passive a way of winning it is, but sometimes it's fun. Especially if the realm is gonna hand it to you by saying that enemies are try to heal. It's like 77% every turn. Like really? You think I'm gonna sit here and let you heal 77% of your health every turn? Did you really think I was gonna be okay with that? Right. Here's the treasure golem that the game was trying to get us not to kill. We killed him, and we got nothing useful out of it. And that does make me sad. If I could go back in time, I would not kill him. I'd be like, listen, come back when you have something useful to give me, and then I'll kill you. Or better yet, just give me the stuff and then go. Like, I'm not the one. Like, look at the way that the game frames our encounters with treasure golems. Like we're the evil person, when in reality, at any moment, the treasure golem could simply give me all the loot and just leave and start collecting a new loot pile. But no, instead the treasure golem chooses to die for the sake of, essentially for the sake of wealth. And I'm the bad guy? Like, come on. Clearly there's a propaganda campaign against the player in this game. And I, frankly, I don't appreciate it. Right, let's just, enough beating about the bush. Let's take out Zantai. What is your deal, my man? Oh, no, I wasted my turn. I was trying to go to inspect. Enemies always have scorned, switches with silenced. When your creatures are killed, they cast spells. That's annoying. This creature is immune to damage while its allies are alive. Enemies always have bleeding. Okay, that sounds fine. Listen, we need this motherfucker to take his turn. So let me see if I can do this. Let me time walk. So to change from silence to scorned. Now at least the rest of us can cast spells. There we go. Now we do this. We just win in the old-fashioned way. This is gonna lead to some annoyance, the fact that our gems are gonna be sealed. Alright, well, let's do Archangel's Blessing. And let's do Astral Dimension, just to unseal our spell gems. Let's do this. And let's do this, I guess. Let's just keep trying to do this. Remember, we don't want Zantai to take a turn. Okay, now we gotta sit here while they're gonna cast like 60 spells on us. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let me just sit here and I'll read the news for a bit. I'll do my taxes. Just joking. I've already done my taxes. I could start doing my taxes for next year. Like, what else am I gonna do while the game is casting like 60 spells at me? But at least at the end of it, Xantai did die with that final explosion. These chests had nothing in them. Ooh, and then there's this thing, which I nearly didn't interact with. See, how long have we gone? About an hour, I would say. Just over an hour. Alright. I'm okay with that. Let's finish off these last 4 guys, and then we can go home and start wrapping up. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start winding down for the night when I'm done with this. All right, my dude, just die. Thank you. All right, no card out of these guys, but that's okay. We'll get it eventually. Let's head home. And I'm gonna set up my item bonus for the next episode before I end. God, I am a bit tired right now, so it's hard for my weary eyes to concentrate on these tiny numbers. So why am I even doing it? Maybe I should leave it for the next episode? Nah. Nah, son. Let's just get it done right now. God, it really is. There we go. 374. I even stopped myself from rolling past it. That's good. Right now, with that done, let's reflect on what we accomplished this episode. Let's look at our recent achievements. The big one, of course, was just taking down Saint Althea for the 9th time, and we didn't just take her down, but I spent a good long amount of time explaining, I guess generally how, like, there are many different ways you could beat her, even without making yourself immune to blight. But my tutorial in this episode was kind of in how the game treats certain things hyper literally, and how it's often to your detriment, but how sometimes you can use it to your advantage, like we did in using the Shadowbringer Anointment, which apparently I still have equipped, so I should unequip it and put retention back on, just in case we get into like an annoying Xanta fight and like we actually get killed or something like that happens. But yeah, we killed Saint Althea, made a bit of a tutorial out of it. It was it took longer, but it was worth it, I think. And then we just went through normally. We had a Xantai fight at the end. That was cool. We found a couple really minor nether stones, and then along the way we found one card in random loot, right? And that takes us to 492, approaching that lovely 500 mark. It's going to be very sweet when we finally hit it. And I am really looking forward to that. But yes, I think with all of that said, it is time now for me to say thank you so much for watching. It was a nice episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time. Could have maybe done one more realm if I hadn't spent the first half tutorializing the Saint Althea fight, but I still feel like we got a good amount of stuff done. You know, finding a card is always feels like a huge achievement whenever that happens. But yeah, with all of that said, Like I said, thank you so much for watching. Hope you had a good time. And I hope you'll join me in the next episode as well. And until then, take care.